Hey there folks, thanks for checking out this World of Tanks video, and thanks for playing World of Tanks. This match here is going to be kind of a rough one. Frankly, I think part of what I want to get out of this one is any comments anybody has about how the gameplay depicted here could have been made better. Any thoughts about how the match might have been made to have gone a different direction, if you will. The main point here, at least one of the main points here to this video, is that this is an encounter battle, right? Where there's that one white circle on the map, that one mutual capture point for both teams, as an opportunity to win, and for the other team, it would have to inherently be an opportunity to lose. So we'll see what happens here. I start off moving towards that white circle, kind of the key, probably, to the map. We have 3 other guys going that way, generally speaking, and everybody else is fighting for, I guess, the 1 and 2 lines. I want to suggest on these encounter matches where there's a mutual capture point that it's actually not a good thing. Certainly not right away. Not even like all that early on at any point necessarily. It's not usually to your advantage to get on the capture point early on. They're usually in some wide open spaces, or at least some spaces without a whole lot of cover. So yeah, it's pretty easy usually to fire onto the enemy vehicles that are in that capture circle on these encounter matches. It's kind of the same way in a lot of standard matches as well, that any enemy vehicles that are in your own capture point, the capture point that you're assigned to defend, any enemy vehicles in that are usually pretty easy to shoot at, as long as you have the line of fire. I mean, generally speaking, they're in kind of open areas, so generally speaking, if you're anywhere close, you do have line of fire, or at least it's not hard to get line of fire. But anyways, so I think it's usually not an advantage to get in that capture circle at the beginning. Instead, I think what often is a good idea in these encounter matches is to just kind of put yourself in position early on to be on hand and be ready to shoot the enemy vehicles that crawl into it. Usually can kind of make these encounter matches go pretty decisively. Now here I kind of sneak up to the patent. It's kind of a cool move. He hadn't spotted me until I was basically over him, and he came out from behind that little rock. And here I got the second shot at him, and he hasn't hit me once. I don't think he's even fired at me yet. He's been firing at my buddies, I think, and stuff like that. Certainly spotting them up, and there an ally finishes them off for us. But that's kind of a neat little maneuver there. Alright, so at this point, the enemy has 3 vehicles on the capture point, and it's counted down pretty quick. I'm thinking I might as well try to move back, see if I can spot anybody up, maybe get some shots, maybe encourage that medium or light down there to help me out. I get spotted up, and I targeted, and had that one round at least fly past me without me being able to do anything about it. So I could have sat there or moved closer, trying to spot up any of the enemy vehicles that were back in there, even that one that was spotting me or shooting at me. I probably would have just more or less been taking more damage, more shots than I was, doing anything about for our team. So I swing around here using this little serpentine trench, thinking about maybe coming around the other side. See the medium and that light, thinking it's probably that light spotting me up, and I try to move back in toward the capture point and run across into this destroyer, and I don't know, maybe I could have just kept rolling and maybe spotted somebody back in the capture point, maybe gotten a shot at them before I was completely eliminated myself. Kind of unlikely. We're down to very, very few tanks. I just kind of pull back and wait for the end, and generally speaking, try to save my hit points, which can kind of equate to saving your silver. And just make the best of what's going on. Get an extra little shot in there in the Panther, maybe get another one right here. But yeah, they get the capture. And that is the match. I don't even take any ram damage there at the end, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I just wanted to demonstrate. I don't know that too many people necessarily need this video to understand it, but pretty clear demonstration, nevertheless, about how not to play an encounter match by, in this case, avoiding the white circle. And you know, even if they hadn't more or less completely eliminated our team, it's me and the dragon left, they still had a whole bunch of hit points out there that our team left on the field. Generally speaking, overall, just, you know, in that regard, it's maybe a poor team performance on 2 counts, leaving that capture point to the enemy vehicles, for one thing, and then also just secondly, you know, receiving a lot more damage than our team dealt. If you have any thoughts about how, you know, maybe I, as an individual tier 7 in a tier 9 match, could have done anything differently to sway or maybe even completely change the outcome of the match, leave a comment. Otherwise, thanks for checking out this World of Tanks video, and thanks for playing World of Tanks.